Now it's time for a little fantasy football week 2, and D Nasty is back. Dave,
Yeah, football
welcome.
is back, baby.
That's right. Football is back. Hope everything went well with your mother-in-law last week, my man.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, she's actually doing better. Actually, so she actually got out of the hospital a couple days ago. So that's actually good
Oh,
news.
excellent news.
It
Great
was a
to
nice
hear. Great
experience.
to hear. You know what else is great to hear, Dave? The Bears are in first place in the NFC North, my man. Look at this. Chicago Bears. Bear down.
I
And
remember that happened last year too, though. And look how that season ended up for you and us.
first
One week
place,
nice
baby.
thing.
I'm milking this thing. I got 6 days till we play the Packers at night.
I'm
6
gonna be at that
days.
game. I'll be there.
Oh, of course you will. Of course you will. Well, that's exciting. Hopefully you won't leave sad like the Niners fans did. You never know. You never know. No. Oh, my Bears were so. It was a fraudulent victory to say the least. If you look at the box score, you can kind of see that. But I'll take it. I'll take any win we can get against a big team like the Niners. But I think let's get into some fantasy football then, dude. Lots of craziness already. We have no buys yet, and we always will get into buys. There's some stuff that I might have been a little bit wrong about. Definitely Mac didn't make a team, and I thought he'd be a good sleeper at some point, but it's not like I was saying draft him early or anything. And I got to tell you, Saquon Barkley impressed me a little bit yesterday. The Tennessee, I don't know if their rush defense got worse because they had the best rush defense last year. And then, they look like the worst now against the Giants. I mean, it's obviously week 1, but that's pretty interesting with Saquon there.
Oh yeah, definitely leading them to the win as well. Plus Zeke actually looks pretty crisp and pretty nimble last night as well. Even though the Cowboys got crushed, the good thing that came out of that game is I saw Zeke make some nice plays actually last night, so he might be back actually.
Well, they're going to need Zeke a lot now that the little Dak Prescott is hurt, and that's something we probably should get right into then is the key injuries, Dave.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll start out. I got Dak Prescott number 1. Well, I mean, 1A, I guess, injured throat hand out 6 to 8 weeks. They're going to be hurting at quarterback now for sure. Elijah Mitchell from running back for the Niners got hurt in the first quarter. MCL sprain, they're saying out 2 months. So that's nasty. Wide receiver T. Higgins, concussion, probably day to day, maybe week to week. We don't know yet. Concussions are like something you don't know for days. And Wan'Dale Robinson, knee injury, left the game. I haven't had an update on that. Najee Harris, foot injury, but it doesn't sound terrible. He might miss a little time, but probably going to play. But I could see his backup playing a lot too. And wide receiver Chris Godwin, hammy injury and left the game. He's week to week from what I'm hearing, Dave. Anything from there?
Yeah, actually, Keenan Allen was a major one too.
Yeah.
Injury history in the past. Hamstring strain for him. So that's another big injury of note. Running back Kyren Williams. He's a lower bit on the depth chart, but he was a up-and-coming rookie. Suffered a high ankle sprain. He's out to 6 to 8 weeks as well. Damian Williams, who was supposed to get some carries actually behind Cordell Patterson, hence leading to Cordell Patterson's huge week. He injured his ribs at the start of the game. He ended up re-entering in the 4th, but he's still banged up though too. Mac Jones, this is one you definitely want to watch. X-rays on his back, so anything to do with the back is not a good thing. Let me tell you, from 2 back surgeries myself. Mac Jones, so keep an eye on that one. Like you said, Najee Harris, they said he is actually questionable for this week already. He could possibly play this week, but like you said, I don't look for him to get many touches if he does play, just because they'll keep an eye on him. Wan'Dale Robinson, actually, a nice upgrade for the Giants, suffered a knee injury in the second quarter. Did not return to the game, so they didn't really give any updates on him though as well.
Well, Mac Jones is okay. They said the X-rays are negative. It sounded like back spasms. I think he's going to play, but I know he's not happy with what's going on there after McDaniels left. John McDaniel, he went to the coach the Raiders.
Exactly.
So Patricia's a terrible offensive coordinator, and and Belichick's grumbly as hell. So it's not, this offense isn't looking great for the Patriots. I think they bounce back this week, but it's just going to be a suspect offense kind of coming in.
Oh, another major injury too of note. TJ Watt could be out to 6 weeks now with a torn pectoral muscle. That's really going to affect the Pittsburgh Steelers D. He was having
6 weeks on a tear. Isn't that out for the season on a tear?
They said not surgery, so they said he couldn't come back in 6 weeks now, which is actually good news for our UW alum. He was having an awesome game too before he got hurt, but they're saying 6 weeks now. They said does not have to have surgery, so he can come back.
I'm so happy for him, dude. I was
bummed
when I saw that. Oh man, yeah, 6 weeks. Okay, good. All right, so let's move on to the waiver wire, Dave. Why don't you get started on your waivers?
All right, my first one's gonna be one that you never think of me ever coming out of my mouth, but Carson Wentz, only owned in 13% of leagues right now. He threw for 4 touchdowns this past week. He had 2 to another guy, like I'm going to be on the waiver wire as well, Jahan Dotson, the rookie that I liked going into a lot of my drafts this year, who had two of those touchdowns from Carson Wentz. And Curtis Samuel, another guy you want to take a look at picking up this week. He had a team leading 8 grabs and 4 found pay dirt for Wentz. And then Logan Thomas actually had looked like his old self in the return too as well. For the return.
He had 11 targets actually. So
yeah, so Samuel definitely looked like the number 1 actually this week, which is kind of surprising with Terry McLaurin there. So definitely those 3 guys you want to look at picking up: Wentz, Dotson, and Curtis Samuel.
You know, it's interesting with McLaurin there. It's like, you thought McLaurin was just him and the rest, but these other 2 guys both had 11 targets. I found that interesting. Wentz was throwing the ball a lot that game. It was the Jaguars kind of pushed him. They pushed him a little bit.
Yeah, well, he had over 300 yards too. So, like you said, he's definitely throwing the ball a lot. Next one is going to be definitely a priority pickup this week. Jeff Wilson. He's going to be the one taking over for Elijah Mitchell. Don't forget about the rookie Tyrone Davis as well. He gets some carries too as well. So they're saying he could actually take over eventually if Jeff Wilson doesn't impress in the first couple weeks. So definitely Tyrone Davis is another guy you want to take a look at. Jeff Wilson's only owning 16% of leagues right now. So definitely put in a high bid for him. Jordan Mason, or Tyrone Davis price I just talked about, but Jordan Mason is actually a sneaky little sleeper here. He beat out Trey Sermon for a roster spot, and they do really like him. And he had an awesome preseason. So don't forget about him as either. But the 2 you want to target is definitely Jeff Wilson first. Tyrion Davis Price is the second guy you want to target in that backfield as well. Jaylen Warren for the Steelers. Najee Harris should be back in the next couple weeks, but in case he does miss this week, and he'd be a nice fill-in for you if you're a little weak at running back. So Jaylen Warren for the Steelers, running back for them. A guy we kind of forgot about. He's a little bit more rostered than normally we have on here, but 58%. But James Robinson, a lot of people probably have him on their bench, or maybe they didn't even draft him because he was injured. But James Robinson had a very good week in his return from that ACL tear. So definitely get him back into your lineup if you have him on your bench. And then Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers didn't look very well this week, and he looked like a little banged up as well. He didn't play. Cam Akers didn't even play a snap until the second quarter. Henderson.
He's not the starter anymore. I don't think.
No.
I think it's Henderson. I think people own him though. I left him off because I just
he's definitely owned. But we want to just talk about Cam Akers though too. I think he's still hurt. Actually, I think. Because I think he would have started if he's healthy. So I think something's going on with that we don't know about. So I definitely think something's going on with him.
I'm bummed out because I own Cam Akers in our league, or in my league. So I'm bummed out about it. I was like, are you kidding me? So,
but a couple of guys that aren't very owned, those are just a couple of guys that were, but I want to talk about some guys that weren't. Jamal Williams had a nice week this week at 47%. Khalil Herbert, 41%. He had a nice week. And then Isaiah Pacheco, but you can kind of temper your expectations on him because they're getting blown out when he got his garbage yards. And same with Jerick McKinnon. Both those guys got garbage touchdowns and garbage.
Yeah, Isaiah Pacheco had 12 carries. Yeah,
but they're up so big. So I'm not putting much stock in him. And then Tyler Boyd, if T. Higgins is out, that's definitely a guy you want to take a look at because he's 50%, 56% rostered right now, but he might be out there on a few waiver wires. So definitely scoop him up if possible.
I agree with all that. I'm going to add Will Dissly tonight. He had that first touchdown for Seattle, and it looks like he's getting targeted a lot by Geno, which I got to tell you, Geno outperforming my expectations, that's for sure so far. So we'll see what happens. This is a close game right now. I feel bad for all the people that just said Denver's going to crush them. Oh, my God. I'm glad I laid off this one.
And then the one I forgot too is Devin Dunleary. Done very nice.
Duvernay for the Ravens.
Duvernay, yes. He's their number 2 actually right now. He's only 31% rostered right now, so he'd be a sneaky grab this week. He had 4 receptions for 54 yards and 2 scores, so definitely a guy you want to take a look at.
Donovan Peoples-Jones also had 11 targets for Cleveland. Curtis Samuel, like I said, yeah, you got them all really that I said. Going pretty deep into a league. You said Jordan Mason, right? Who's the guy after Jordan Mason for the 49ers?
Yep. Tyron Davis Price. I got both of those guys, yeah.
Yeah. Tyron Davis Price. Okay. Yep, no, I agree with all that. Let's move on to non-starters trending up then for week 2. And I have running back J.D. McKissick versus the Lions bad D. I think he's going to get a lot of carries for the Washington football team. So I expect him to do well. And I also kind of like Jahan Dotson this week against the Lions. The Lions, they can put up some points, but they're pretty weak in the secondary. So you saw the Eagles torch them a bit. I think they're going to get torched, but they're almost like a sneaky over team now. It's a little weird. So I like those two. I think Paris Campbell might have a shot here. He's starting, and he's playing the Jaguars. He's going to get some targets. They're probably going to cover Pittman a lot. So I'm waiting. I've been waiting for Paris Campbell for 3-4 years now. Time for him to do something or be dropped. Running back Nyheim Hines will get some carries versus the Jags as well. I think he did fumble last week, so maybe he's a little bit in the doghouse, but I expect Nyheim Hines to redeem himself. And when JT gets a little bit tired, he's going to come in and pick up a lot of garbage time, especially if they're winning. I mean, they are 4.5-point favorites. Wide receiver Allen Robinson versus the Falcons, looking to have a bounce back game, in my opinion. I think Matty Stafford needs to have a bounce back game after that horrible Thursday showing. So think about that. Wide receiver Allen Robinson versus the Falcons is looking. Sorry, I already said that. Yeah, he's going to have a bounce back game. Cam Akers. I think this is the week we're going to find out, Dave, because he did play a few snaps last week, so I can't imagine he's that hurt. We're going to find out what's going on versus the Falcons, and hopefully Cam Akers gets to play. But you also have to remember that they're down so much to the Bills that the running backs didn't get a lot of play last week. I would have expected them to be a little bit better in the pass game, though. I think there was just a Super Bowl hangover for a coach and everybody else. I got running back with Melvin Gordon versus the Texans. I'm still not buying that Texans D. I just think it was that first game weirdness. Wide receiver Adam Thielen is going to be a good little sneaky play against the Eagles, which should be a shootout next week. The Vikings versus Eagles. I'm expecting a shootout. A.J. Dillon for the Packers. I hate to say it, he's going to eat up the Bears. And the Bears gave up a ton of rushing yards and just kind of lucked out a little bit in some plays and grabbed momentum to beat the Niners. But I expect A.J. Dillon to do great. And I actually even expect Christian Watson, after dropping that pass last week, to have a good game versus the Bears as well. And you might as well even throw in Robert Tonyan versus the Bears.
Whole Packers offense.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but Aaron Rodgers is pissed, and this feels just like one of those Sunday night beatdowns coming. I hate to say that as a Bears fan. I'm going to cheer for our first place for 6 more days, like I said. Running back Jalen Warren versus the Patriots, I think, is a very good look this week, and he's the second guy. I thought Snell was for a long time, but I got Jalen Warren, Dave. Who do you got?
Well, I don't know about Jalen Warren. The Tampa Bay always had a pretty good run defense last year, didn't they? They were like one of the top ranked run defenses, weren't they?
Well, aren't the Steelers playing the Patriots?
Oh yeah, the Bucs are playing the Saints. I'm sorry, I was thinking the Bucs Saints.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that matchup actually. Yeah. Jets actually against the Browns. I do like Breece Hall and Michael Carter. Michael Carter actually had a very good game this last week. I like for him to have a good game again. So I like those running backs against the Browns' core defense. I don't think the Browns really have that great of a defense still. I do like actually Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake against the Dolphins. They had a good run on defense last week, but I do like those two actually. The Ravens like to run the ball, and I think those guys could both have good games. I don't think Dobbins plays this week again, so I like them. I like the Hines pick. I think he could have a good game against the Jaguars. Buccaneers Saints. I don't really like anyone in that matchup. Maybe the Buccaneers wide receivers. Maybe Russell Gage against the Saints poor pass D because they usually don't have that good of a pass D. So I like Russell Gage in that matchup, actually. I like Jahan Dotson. That was one of my guys I was going to actually say. So I do like that matchup. And then Curtis Samuel, too. I look for him to have another big game as well. He's a big favorite of the Coach Ron Rivera there. Cardinals against the Raiders. I like James Conner, but you're already starting him, so we're not going to say him. But I do like Tyler Boyd against the Cowboys. Cowboys just are a mess right now with Prescott out now. Their defense looked okay, but they're playing Tom Brady, so I got to give them a little bit of leeway there. But I still like to see the Bengals. I think Tyler Boyd has a big game against the Cowboys still. I think with Higgins banged up, I think he's going to have a big game, so he's one guy normally not starting. I like Isaiah McKenzie against the Titans. Titans didn't look good at all this past week. Isaiah McKenzie is coming on. He's that third receiver there. You can kind of feel that Cole Beasley role. I like that matchup. I do like Watson and Dobbs actually for the Packers. I do agree with you 100% on that. I think at home on Sunday night, I think the Packers are going to show up this week, hopefully. Vikings, I do like the Thielen pick too as well. I think Alexander Madison, he got quite a few carries in this past game as well. He was something a little bit more for Cook. I think he could get some garbage yards in this one actually. And maybe
I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of garbage time. He's gonna get some definitely some Cook rest time though.
Yeah,
I'm saying like upside of 15 carries, probably 10 carries.
Yeah, I like Madison. I think he could get like 5 to 10 carries this game and put up a touchdown possibly as well. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, and I think the Vikings actually beat the Eagles actually pretty good in this one too still. Because I think the Vikings are legit. Even though the Packers didn't play well, I think the Vikings are still a very good team. And then I do like the Van Jefferson if he plays this week. And I like the Allen Robinson pick, but I think I like Jefferson better if he is healthy and plays this week against the Falcons.
Yeah, okay. I agree with most of that for sure. Let's move on to busts then, Dave. Who are your busts?
All right, sounds good. Like I was just saying, Buccaneers and Saints. I don't like any running backs in that contest. Even though we got some of the best running backs in Kamara and Fournette, I don't like those matchups. The Buccaneers and Saints have two of the best run defenses from last year, so I'm not liking those matchups right there. Jaguars, I don't like James Robinson or Etienne against the Colts. Colts have a good defense. They're a little underrated, I think, even as well. So I don't like really any of the Jaguars players this week against that tough.
Plus, Shaq Leonard should be back this week.
Yep. So Shaq Leonard back too as well. So I don't really like that matchup for them. 49ers, I think, are going to be a little bit mad. I feel sorry for Geno Smith and for Rashad Penny this week because I think the Niners are going to shut them down. I think they're going to do what the Broncos can do tonight. So I like the 49ers against the Seahawks. And I don't like any of the Seahawks running backs. I don't think Penny has a good week this week. I think Geno struggles a little bit against the 49ers this week as well. Falcons, Mariota had a good, decent week this past week in Drake London, but they just don't have the weapons there. The Rams have a good D. They won the Super Bowl last year. They're a Super Bowl team still. So I'm looking to downgrade most of the Falcons this week, especially Mariota. And Cordell Patterson's not going to have as good a game he did last week. Aaron Donald's just going to eat him up, actually, anytime he comes by him. So I definitely don't like that matchup. The Bears, I think the Bears, I don't like Bears matchup this week. Justin Fields, I'm definitely downgrading him. Hopefully many people aren't starting him anyways, but I don't think Justin Fields has a good game against the Packers on Sunday night. That's one game I don't like. I don't like Ryan Tannehill against the Bills. The Bills, I think, are a legit team. They definitely play Super Bowl contenders, so definitely downgrading Titans and Ryan Tannehill against the Bills.
Well, Tannehill sometimes does good in those weird games, you know.
I know.
It's hard to figure that out. Last year they beat all the good teams and lost to the bad teams, so that was very strange. Figure that one out, man.
Exactly.
And they have to be a little bit reeling for last week. Well, I have Justin Fields probably as a bust. I mean, you shouldn't be starting him yet anyway. But my daughter just stopped by. Darnell Mooney is going to be gloomy this week, and Chris Olave versus the Tampa Bay Bucks should be interesting. I think the Bucks are so good on defense right now, at least. I would definitely go with Michael Thomas, like as maybe a must play, probably as the way he balled out. But I don't know, Chris Olave. This feels like one of those Jameis Winston games where he plays his old team. Then they might just actually get crushed. And running back Damian Harris versus the Steelers D is kind of rough. And Breece Hall versus the Browns D. Hold on a second. Say hi to my daughter. She's on the show now. Say hi.
Hi.
Brees Hall versus the Browns D is bad. Well, this is my cue, Dave. I'm going to go with my nasty sleeper here. Adam Thielen is mine, my friend. I think that Justin Jefferson is going to get blanketed versus the Eagles, and the Eagles are just going to be in a shootout with this team, in my opinion. I think that there's definitely a big chance that that Thielen's going to ball out. Who you got?
My D-Nasty sleeper of the week is going to be Jahan Dotson. I liked him going into this year as one of my sleepers at wide receiver, and I'm definitely going with him after 2 touchdown performance last week. And I do love his matchup against the Lions this week as well. So Jahan Dotson is my D-Nasty sleeper of the week.
All right. Well, sounds good, Dave. Great stuff, my man. Thank you so much for coming on and breaking down some fantasy football. It's going to be a fantastic week. And good luck to all your teams, man. And I'm sorry, go Bears. I have to say it, even though I don't think.
Go Pack. I'll be there cheering them on.
I get, yeah, dude. Well, try to get on camera for us all, man. We'll try to spot you over there in the crowd. You always seem to dress up a little funky, so maybe they'll put the camera on you anyway. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening to the show. If you have any questions, please feel free to tweet us at the Odds Breakers. Have a great rest of your week and go get some winners.